Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening for some of you, as our audience is around the world. We welcome everybody in every time zone today for our last conversation of the year. Welcome to Florence, Fatima. We don't have Paddy with us today, but we are really looking forward to having our conversation, which we will base on some questions that we've received from you, from our audience in the last few months. And some of these, we've picked some questions that really resonated for us and that we also hear very regularly from our coaching clients. So, hi, Florence.
Hello.
And hi, Fatima.
Hi, and great to be here again, and closing our last conversation this year.
Now for the question, because we like no slides, no description, and really the pleasure of the conversation, we've posted the 3 questions we're going to use today in the comments of the event on LinkedIn. So for the audience, you should have seen them. Remember as well that we take questions as we go. So if anything we said inspires something for you, kick in something, resonate, that you want to share something, you want to follow up with an added question, do use the comments and we will pick them up as we go and include them within the conversations. And for our first question today, we wanted to start with something that really come on a regular basis. The questions. We've invested a lot in individual coaching for our leaders, but the team still struggle. Why is not this enough?
Yeah, good one. I think all 3 of us, we are also individual coaches. So we will never say that individual coaching does not have an impact. Individual coaching, of course, is an extremely powerful and important development and performance approach that we use. However, if you do individual coaching and you create in a team of six very strong leaders, that doesn't mean, and I can make the analogy with any team sport, it doesn't mean that the team works well. So it is the relationship between and the value between the players on the field that we really work on during team coaching. That's my first reaction. Fatima, do you have anything to add?
Thank you, Madeline. No, and I totally agree. I think I really find a lot of value in individual coaching, in executive coaching. We can work with the leader, and the leader can be better. But at the same time, or we can work with the people that are in the team. But we are not working in the teaming process by itself. No, we are more working in the individual level and not in the collective level. So there are different, and they interact, they integrate. No, but it's a different process. It's very important to really have the teamwork, to really realize, okay, how work collaboratively, that we also work with the team coaching, where the team is all present and the team is our client. So we are not speaking individual voices, we are using them to enhance and to bring the different voices to the team, but at the same time, we are building from that. So for me, it's a different construct, and we can work in. It's like, okay, how much can we work in the different, in individually, but also in the team, and why not also in the organization, in the way that we also create, for example, a common language. We create and make sense of the interdependencies. We create and make sense, okay, what kind of connections and relationships, as you said, Madeline, we need to build to really foster everything and the collective performance. So, Florence?
I just love that questions, and I often use the same analogy to sport that you use, Madeline. I also have this sentence that kind of describe very well what's happening. Is a team of talent is not always a talented team. They need to learn together to become that talented team, and it's really about the connections and the understanding how to leverage from the diversity that they can truly work together. And it's so interesting sometimes when working with teams that an addition of a new member within the team disrupts that established dynamic. And they have to relearn how to become again a talented team with the addition. And it's more or less, it's slow or fast depending of the situation and on the context. It really has something to do with the one accelerator I've noticed is really these collective responsibilities. And that's why defining, what does the team serve? What is the purpose of the team? What are we creating together that we cannot create alone? Is really acting as an accelerators. And it's then they see how we act, they can actually combine their forces and their strength to activate something specific. So,
And you triggered me something, and also connected what Madeline said about the sports team. When you are working in team coaching, we are working in real scenario. No, we are working with the team in the moments they are together. No, sometimes individual coaching feels a moment that we take for ourselves. To really go deep. But also the work of the team. When we are working with a team in team coaching, we are working in the team. Sometimes in their business as usually. Because we can be with them in their team meetings, for example. No, it's not only a work that happens outside or the real place of work, but also work that happens inside the organization in the moment that the team are together in real time. No.
And you know what, Fatima, that is so interesting, because what emerges, what we see when we do team coaching, what we make visible then are the invisible rules that the team is not aware of very often, but that really exist within the team and really dictate how the team operates, right? So invisible rules that we see is we avoid conflict, or we'll let the team leader speak first, or everybody speaks to their own function, and the others listen when it's not their domain. So there are so many of these kind of rules of operating within a team that emerge not because of a decision, but actually that emerge because that happens to be what works, because of the dynamics, because of the different personalities, and that lack of awareness that often exists, or when there is awareness, the lack of understanding and knowing how to break those rules is really why just working on individuals won't work, right? It doesn't create that shift in how a team really works together. Yeah.
It's interesting because often thinking about, looking at the individual is tangible, is simpler. We said, okay, and we even know that sometimes there is this mechanism to kind of look for the black sheep in the team that would explain all the issue we have. While we know that in practice, that is actually not happening. The black sheep is more like the revelator, like the symptom that there is something deep underneath that is actually to be looked at, that is maintaining the pattern, kind of a vicious circle in a dynamic that prevent the team from becoming really moving to a collective impact to talented. So I know that for me, when someone send me, just like we've done this one in coaching, we think that we fix the team. We know that there is really something else underneath that is interesting to look at, and that's making visible the pattern, the underneath pattern you were talking about, Madeline, is definitely something that is strong and interesting from the coaching of the team that we can do.
And I think also empower the team now, because sometimes the team wants us to fix the issues, but it's much okay. How we can also make visible, as Madeleine said, and you also said, make visible the patterns that can seem invisible, that really allow the space for the team to observe them as they are in working as a team now and collaborated. Because when we are also in the team coaching process, we are working as a team. Even if it's is discussing issues, so we can also observe what is happening, and also allow the team to observe themselves. Sometimes allowing them to connect with and bring different stakeholders. Because it's interesting that a lot of things that happens in the team also comes from the system. As you said, it's not only what is happening with one individual, but it's how the team is reflecting what is happening in the system now. And the system can be the entire organization, the system can be their department, the system can be the market, I don't know. The system can be, we work with different layers or different levels of the system.
Yeah.
The dream of the neutrality of the system.
Yeah, everything impacts. So we've actually, by speaking to this question, we've actually partly moved into one of the other questions that we have. But if we recap on this question, I think really it is
Recap on this one.
team coaching. You coach the interactions within the team and within the teams around them, and with their stakeholders. And it's the interactions that really help a team transform into the team that they want to become. So I think that kind of recaps what we've been saying as an answer on.
And I think also what we also said about, we are working in the team, sometimes in their working environment. Now it's not that we are always outside. We do a lot of interventions with the team in their own environment. So in a way that we also can bring that and integrate that.
So Fatima, that goes to another question that we had that we wanted to kind of discuss, and that is kind of, what do you actually do in a team coaching session, right? This is what we get, like, okay, well, see you say, okay, we can talk about what are the challenges that the team has, and what does it need to become, but what happens in a session? And you've now talked about, we work with the team on real scenarios, on real cases. How does that work?
Well, I can give some examples, and then you can follow me, and then we can return to it. For example, and what I was thinking, we can really be in the moments that the team is having their team meetings, for example. And we can be there in different ways. We can be as observators, someone that and making some time out. We can contract to the team what will best serve them. We can see and observe what kind of interactions they are having. They are really talking everyone to everyone, or or the communication is being very unidirectional, because sometimes this happens. Now we have a team of 6-7 people, and only 2 people are almost speaking, and it's almost one to each other. Some things that, for example, I really remember a case, and that was very interesting, that I was observing a team meeting now, and they were discussing a problem from different perspectives, and they stayed there in that a long time. And then I asked them, okay, can I make an intervention, or can I say something? And they agreed, okay. And I make some observation. I'm hearing you for the last 40-50 minutes talking about this problem. Okay, what is the purpose of talking in the problem? No, and it was very important, because this team really began to shift from the problem to the solution. No, and in future meetings that they were together, they were bringing, okay, we already discussed the problem, we already gave enough time to discuss the problem. Okay, what is the purpose for us to be discussing this? What can we do about this? What is the solution? How can we make it different? And this is the kind of things that we can do in team coaching, for example.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, the question that we then often address is, and I think that's what you're alluding to, is should this team be discussing this problem in this setting, right? So are we meeting to have a meeting, or are we meeting because we have a certain agenda point that we need to discuss? And are we talking on the right level? Are we, as the leadership team, looking at this on a systemic level, from a strategic level? Or are we working here? Are we diving into operations? And if so, is that the best use of our time? And then you can bring it further in. Or are you now disempowering your teams because you're discussing something that should be discussed a few layers down in the organization? So all this recognition of patterns, underlying beliefs that live in the systems, all those are then addressed through coaching, right?
Yeah.
Florence,
Yeah.
any other things that we do?
There is so many things that come to mind when I was listening to you. I was thinking of a team where one of the sessions we decided to have was actually really focusing on how do we organize our meeting? What do we do with our meeting? How come we have so many meetings? Do we need them? And then there was a follow-up conversation was, okay, now we've organized our own meeting and we kind of decide, we want to be really focused. So there was a strong work on being intentional. Where do we put our intention? Where do we put our attention as well? That we use our time correctly. And then there was also the next level was we are being invited to so many meetings. And it's always the full team is invited or half of the team is invited. How do we rethink that to be really efficient with our times? And that led to something extremely interesting because it led to an in-depth conversation about how do we want to delegate within us the work, the decisions, what mechanism do we want to put in place that when someone has the delegation, we also have a mechanism that this person can easily share important elements that the full team remain aware of what is happening. And the intention behind it was always, how can we create time within the team that we can start to do our job, that we can start to be strategic. So it's how to create time that we can do what we're supposed to be doing. And this notion of creating time was really interesting on these times. And that specific team, it came really at a good moment for them when they decided to have this session with me, because they were looking into hiring more people. And I think their big boss was very clever, because the big boss was telling them, if you're looking at hiring more people, that's not the first thing to do. The first thing, when you're looking at hiring more people, the first thing I want you to do is first to set and make sure you organize your job correctly. And then we talk about hiring more people. They did hire more people, but when they were ready to hire more people, they hired completely different people. And rather of hiring people at skill already existing within the team, they did hire people that had different skills, doing different job, leading to more innovations. Because they took that conversation and they really created the space with me to have that conversation about how do we use the expertise we have within the team? How do we know we're using that expertise? Do we have the expertise we need to move to the next level? And there was really that interesting conversation about what is the next level of our team? And that was really clever. So it was very pragmatic and completely anchored into, grounded in their day-to-day task.
Yes. So it really sounds like in team coaching, what is a session? What does that actually look like? As what we're hearing here is that, first of all, we work with their reality. What is going on for them? We observe them during their team meetings. We take that what we've observed then into coaching sessions where we really explore then on different levels, right? Is what we are seeing what we need to be seeing? Can we come to different analysis, different perspectives? And we build then into also getting them to create real team agreements, right? If saying, okay, this is how we work now, this is how we want to work together, so let's agree on that. And then we follow that through the coaching process to say, are you doing what you've now agreed to be doing together? And then there's this many layers that go into the why and why not, and what are the beliefs that we hold as a team, etc. So it goes too far. We'll maybe pick that up next year and kind of a deep dive in team function.
One of the go Fatima, go.
No, it's very interesting because as we are talking, I'm really finding that the first question and this one are very related. Now, and one other thing, it's this. Okay, in individual coaching, normally we begin. Okay, what would be like? What is the what you want to work? What is the future that you want to create? Okay. We also do this in team coaching, but a little bit different. It's not only what is the future you want to create, but it's also the future that you need to create to attend the needs from your stakeholders. So this is important also, no? And we are bringing this systemic perspective that a lot of times we are not thinking because we are absorbed. We as a team, no, we are absorbed in what is happening and what we have to attend in the short term. So we are also looking, okay, what is our stakeholders need from us as a team. Okay, and the team coaching is supporting the team to create the moments to think on that. And at the same time, we are doing this and we are being very intentional, but we are also attending to what is emerging at every moment.
Yes.
So I think these two things are very important. And if you are there with the team, and something picks up, we can ask some questions. Okay, how this data is coming, it will be important. And sometimes you observe important shifts during the conversations.
Absolutely. So once we are coming to the end of this session,
should we very quickly come back to we kind of bypass question 2, and I know we talk about it at question 1, question 3. We took them into disorder. Should we just have like 2 minutes, an extra 2 minutes, just on this one, because it connects with both questions we are looking at, and a lot of things came out for the conversations. And she just mentioned that system, Fatima. I thought it was interesting to bring that question in because we do forget how much the system has some influence. And when I think about that question as a leader, I'm trying to step back and empower the team, but they keep looking to me for every decision. What can I do differently? And definitely one of the questions would be, what have you changed yourself that you create the space for your system to change? And it's because we don't always think we do something differently. So that's that connection by always looking to the system, and that external eyes we bring help emphasizing that, but help also make the link with what you were saying, Madeleine, the commitment within the process. We really install that commitment. It's so easy for a team to go back into the hamster wheel, going back into the operational, and forget about that commitment to themselves that they can bring in with that moment of stepping back.
I actually think that stepping back is a tricky way of phrasing it. Because what I've often seen when a leader says, okay, I want to empower my team, so I'm going to step back, is a very artificial stance of the leader where all of a sudden he doesn't say anything anymore for the most part of the meeting. And it actually creates a context where the team kind of feels almost patronized that the leader is letting them play and have their say. And then at the end, the leader says, okay, so, and now I tell you, what you said is right, and then let's take this decision, right? So I think if we rephrase that in the leader needs to create the conditions in which everybody has a voice, everybody can take initiative, and it's a safe space where decisions are jointly discussed. So it's a and here it goes back to individual coaching. This is a perfect example where if the leader can really benefit from a deep reflection and a deep conversation about how do I do that, how do I shift that stance, because in this the leader's position is crucial, I think.
And it's also this alignment of expectations. Now, because if the team and the leader had working in the way, okay, we need to align the expectations in order to really work in a different way. So, and sometimes we feel, okay, no, the others will understand it. No, but what can be obvious for us is not so obvious to others. So these conversations really need to happen. Okay, I think it will be useful that we can work in a different way, and this can have benefits for all of us as a team. So I propose to do this. How do you feel? So these conversations of alignment are crucial, and people
Yes.
sometimes forget that.
Yeah, and then just to circle back on what do you do during team coachings, because these are the conversations we're having, and individual coaching is part of the team coaching process. So we might have some sessions with the leader, but sometimes also with each individual member of the team, so that everybody can create awareness for their responsibility and how the team functions, and what holds them back individually from stepping up and stepping into that place that the leader wants to create for the team. So 2 minutes past, Florence. Time goes too fast.
2 minutes and we go. Okay, so we promised you at previous LinkedIn Live, we were going to give you tips on the day of things we've noticed that really make a difference for the teams. So today we wanted to focus a bit on this notion of creating learning habits within your teams. And we often use 3 questions. We recommend often to use 3 questions that you can ask within your team. Ask yourself, are you sharing knowledge, your learnings? When you learn something, how does someone share with the full team? Do you discuss your error and learn from them? So that's a very interesting one. And the third one, do you ask within your team enough questions before looking for solutions? There's 3 easy questions to use, and they can start creating learning habits within your teams. Now, what comes next? Next, we're taking a break for the festive season. So happy festive season to you all. We will be back on January 22nd, Thursday, same time. And we're also going to be looking in 2026 to do some webinars, something slightly different format and slightly different intention. So do watch out for this as well. We talk more about them in January. As usual, follow Teaming for Impact page. You can get the latest, you can ask your question, you can join the conversations, you can benefit from some tips and tool we have there. Like we got our easy diagnostic on team conflict we put last time in November. And of course, great teams don't grow by chance, they grow by intention. When you're ready to take the next steps, let's talk. We are here for you. And ciao, everyone. Thank you for your presence. Thank you, Madeline. Thank you for Fatima. And see you all in January.
I would also bring a happy holiday seasons for everyone, and a great beginning of 2026, and see you next year.
Yes, looking forward to seeing you next year.
Thank you.
Ciao.
So.